touch from the past with some modern sensibilities. It doesn't always strike hard, but you'll get a kick out of this trial from Odin. Trial by Viking have a weird first impression. At first you might see it has some influence from Blizzard's The Last Viking. However, then it becomes evident that this game doesn't know if it wants to be cartoony or go for the dark fantasy tone, leaving you with a mixed bag. The character designs can look good, but it doesn't always fit the rest of the aesthetics, leaving you with what I call a forgettable looking game. As a presentation extra, there's also an story to the game, which I found it hard to follow and mostly irrelevant, since it only appears on certain levels or book ending each chapter. Don't get me wrong, the story might be good and interesting, but it never seems to get reflected on the game. However, this harkens back to the 90s DOS game, where the game's story wasn't really important or relevant to the core gameplay mechanics or the overall content value. And in content they deliver, with more than 100 levels to play on that are separated in somewhat small chapters that progress the story and introduce you to new gameplay mechanics, which they tend to break the monotony of the levels since each level falls into somewhat different categories. For example, at some levels you might be exploring the whole place for an exit. Sometimes these are on the open with pitfalls, and other times they are like small dungeons or fortresses that will give you a Castlevania vibe, while other levels tend to be like a race to the end by making the player move quickly through the level, avoiding traps and enemies. Or the levels will be on a boat where you need to survive until you reach the end of the level. And of course, boss battles. The variety and the quantity is good. The problem is, there's too many levels. That might be a good thing, but I would rather see more quality over quantity, and quality is something that this game lacked. As for gameplay, this is a must for controllers. The whole game is designed around it. However, I got used to play with the keyboard, so if you don't have one, there's nothing to fear. I find the platformer side of this game responsive. Falling into the bottomless pits feels like it's your fault in the end. However, this game is also a mini hack and slash and an action RPG. The combat in the game somehow feels inconsequential and sometimes annoying, but it fits the whole concept well, and it almost never feels disjointed with the core mechanics of the game. However, the RPG mechanics feels badly forced. Making those diamonds the basis of your leveling system is actually great. The problem hinders when this becomes essential to beat a level. Like, if the double jump was needed to beat this level, then there's no need to make it optional. Trial by Viking is a fun game that will satisfy any craving for old school games. However, like many DOS games from the 90s, it sometimes lacks refinement, polish, and uniqueness.